I am not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test part 149, Social Change in the 1960s part 2, that is on the page 55. So we already had that the decade of the 1960s was a period of significant social change, and it is known as the swinging 60s. So that could be an easy question, which time is known as the swinging 60s? And then they might try to trick you and asking, do they mean not as it's true in the 1960s, but maybe the 1600s or something like that. And when hoping that you fall into the trick and think about, hey, maybe they mean the 1600s with William Shakespeare. And they are even trapping you with the question, what is the time known for its big poems and maybe not that, maybe, but for its cultural increase, and where many great things were done in Britain's culture. And name two people who did something with, or two whatever. And you think maybe the 1600s, and we're talking of William Shakespeare and Isaac Newton, but we're actually speaking of the swinging 60s. And we're talking of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. The Beatles and the Rolling Stones were two well-known pop groups, who were doing music. In the 1960s did they start, they continued. And people also started to get more wealthy, and they were able to buy cars and other things. Now, it was also a time when social laws were liberalized, for example, in relation to divorce and to for example, so we're going to talk a little bit about obstetrics, so about pregnancy. It was also a time when social laws were liberalized, for example, in relation to divorce and to abortion in England, Wales and Scotland. The position of women in the workplace also improved. It was quite common at the time for employers to ask women to leave their jobs when they got married, but Parliament passed new laws giving women the right to equal pay and made it illegal for employees to discriminate against women because of their gender. We already had that as fundamental principles: freedom from unfair discrimination. And now that means, for example, that since the 1960s, women have to get the same payment as men. So let's go through it. So it was a time when social laws were liberalized. Now, what are social laws? Are these written down laws? Because laws to divorce and abortion are not just in the social world, they're actually written down laws to that. So the laws were liberalized to divorce. They don't explain it, but that means that it got easier to divorce. So that means that if two people were married, for example, a man and a woman, that they can divorce. Something like that. But they have not said what, when. I'm certainly, it happened not all at once in different directions, where it happened from time to time, one piece, and I don't know when happened and what it was. It would be a bit helpful a little bit if they would write it, but one could say that's too specific. So rules to when people could divorce, when two people were married could divorce, and also to abortion in England, Wales and Scotland. I don't say anything to Ireland. Now, abortion means that if a woman is pregnant and has a child, that if a child is very, very young and it is a fetus, it is not yet recognized by the British government as a human person, because it has not a living brain and stuff, then there are different medical in a hospital done by professionals, by specialized people, things which could be done so that the fetus does not develop to a human being, or to a full self-breathing with lungs and brain equipped human being. But that the pregnancy does not happen to the point, and that the fetus is aborted. I don't want to get even more details now. And I'm pretty sure almost everyone knows what abortion is, but I'm not so sure. The position of women in the workplace also improved. And here we're giving an example. It was quite common at the time for employees to ask women to leave their jobs when they got married. I mean, if they just say the position of women in the workplace improved, how many, maybe million people do we have together, and everyone says one idea what it might mean, until someone says, women were asked to leave a job if they got married. Who would come to that idea? So that explanation is very helpful to say here now. It was quite common at the time for employees to ask women to leave their jobs when they got married. So that means if a woman was working and now she married, that it was common that the employee, so I think that is the person who was paying the woman money so that she did in the workplace, the work, said, don't you want to quit and just be a housewife? How many people would be necessary until someone guesses that? That would be something which quite common happened. So, but Parliament passed new laws giving women the right to equal pay and made it illegal for employers to discriminate against women because of their gender. And they've chosen to make it in a very long sentence and to put something else in between, which is the same subject, but still. So they made it illegal to discriminate against a woman because of her gender. So that woman should not be discriminated because of her biological gender. And also that it became illegal, that they have the right to the equal pay. It happened that some people thought that women were working less than men, and when they were paying less to women. And that became illegal. You have to pay anyone. Freedom from unfair discrimination. Anyone has the right to the same payment. And that became illegal, that happened. They're changing it with the words. Here I said they have the right to equal payment, and then they say it became illegal to discriminate. Both belongs together. It's a bit hard to go through all these things and understand them if one does not understand or know them all previously. Now we will make another part, a third part of it, and we will now do the whole shoulder impingement training. If you participate in it, that is at your own risk. And then we will do nothing new. So if you want, you can go on to the next part. So we're starting with forward shoulder circles. So we're going back, in front, up, and in front. We're going back, up, and in front of the shoulders. And back, up, in front, and down. And we're going now in front, up, back, and down. Now back for shoulder circles. And in front, up, back, and down. And now we're doing so we're bringing the shoulders, we're bringing the arms up, and we're just concentrating on the scapulars, what movement the scapulars are doing. So we're just observing if the scapulars are maybe in the way and are causing shoulder impingement, or if they are opening up and the humerus can just open, it can just come up and there's room to move up. Another time, we're just concentrating on the scapulars. Are we opening up or are we in the way? Just to develop a sense basically of what is happening with the scapulars. And the last time. And now the arms to the outside. And we're bringing the arms in front. And again back. And we're just observing what the scapulars are doing. Are we moving around the rib cage, following always the humerus? Are we going now back together with scapulars? And now we're again around the rib cage with scapulars. And again back. And following around the rib cage. And again back. The last movement. Now we're exercising body part. We're going to the knees, we're hinging forward with a straight back. We're letting the arms hang. Yes, arms hang, and then we're pinching the scapulars together. And pinching really together. This is a muscle exercise. Now make fists or not, and bring the arms up. And pinch the scapulars really together. And let the arms hang. and also scapulars. And at the same time, we are bringing scapulars up, and we're pinching it really together. Now make fists or not, and bring the arms up, and still pinch the scapulars together. Now the arms down, also scapulars. And we have 1-7 exercise with 2 shielded turtle training at shell, and the knees ranging forward. We're making a jump big, letting the arms sink, turning the arms to the inside, and lifting the arms high up and bringing them together. We're straightening slowly up, like slow, and bringing the scapulars down together. And with effort, bring the arms high up and together, shoulders down and together. The arms high up and together, shoulders down together. Now release the arms and the shoulders. And one last time. Into the knees, inch forward, around back. The arms hang, turn the arms to the inside. Bring the arms high up and together. Lift, cups down, and bring the shoulders down together. The arms high up, together, shoulders down. And with effort. The arms high up, together, shoulders down, together. Arms go. And that was that exercise, and we're having one last one. A shrug. We're bringing the arms up. And now we're shrugging the shoulders up and releasing it all again. And we're lifting the arms up, and we're shrugging the shoulders up and releasing it all again. And again, we're bringing the arms up, shrugging the shoulders, and releasing it all again. And last time, we're bringing the arms up, shoulders up, and releasing it all again. And now just a bit stretching, one arm in front. And we're stretching the arms down, so not behind, shoulders down, shoulders back, and try to relax the arm. Stretch a bit. And now the other arm in front, shoulder stays back, the arm is down, and the arm is down. The arm pulls here in, this arm pulls in, and we're trying to relax the arm. And that was the short and bench training. We're having 2 minutes left. Let's just read Richard Austin Butler and Dylan Thomas. So Richard Austin Butler, later Lord Butler, was born in 1902. He became a Conservative Member of Parliament in 1923 and held several positions before becoming responsible for education in 1941. In this role, he oversaw the introduction of the Education Act 1944, often called the Butler Act, which introduced free secondary education in England and Wales. The education system has changed significantly since the Act was introduced, but the division between primary and secondary schools that it enforced still remains in most areas of Britain. Dylan Thomas was a Welsh poet and writer. He often read and performed his work in public, including for the BBC. His most well-known works include the radio play, not a book, include the radio play Under Milkwood, first performed after his death in 1945, and the poem Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night, which he wrote for his dying father in 1952. He died at the age of 39 in New York. There are several memorials to him in his birthplace, Swansea, including a statue, and the Dylan Thomas Center. So first thing, he died in New York, Dylan Thomas. New York is here in the United States. Around there. Don't know it exactly. I have to look. It's there. And The BBC made its first radio broadcasting in 1922, and 14 years later, in 1936, the BBC started the world's first television series, or show, one of them too. Service, television service. First regular television service, 1936, BBC. I thank you very much, and next time.